I get asked all the time in the Modern Mining Discord, what GPU should I buy for AI? What GPU should I buy for mining? And it really is a very nuanced question. There's a lot of things that go into it. I obviously have focused a lot on the 4090, the 3090, and now the 5090, but I want to help you guys kind of understand what GPUs are good for what, and also what's the best way to buy them, because I've said it multiple times. You do not want to overspend on hardware, or it's going to make this whole endeavor really hard to ever break even on. The most important thing probably is getting a good price on your initial hardware, because if worse comes to worse and these stop making money, well, I've got full built computers here that I can sell and recoup essentially all my investment, but only if I got a good deal. So let's walk through what I look for. We're actually going to go through a whole kind of example of me searching Amazon, eBay, but also looking for Facebook market deals, what to watch out for in terms of scams, because I was personally scammed within the last few months. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen to anybody else. So after a quick word from our sponsor, let's get into it. Today's video is sponsored by Crypto Miner Bros, a reliable and highly trusted ASIC miner reseller. There are a couple huge benefits to buying from Crypto Miner Bros. The first is that the price on their website is the all-in price shipped to your door, no hidden fees. The second is that they have a massive selection of all the popular miners. My current favorite miner is the DG Home 1, which I got from Crypto Miner Bros. Don't forget to use code MODERN for $70 off each item regardless of price. Purchasing ASIC miners can be risky with tons of scams going around. Why not make it easy with Crypto Miner Bros? Check them out today with the link down below. So right off the bat, if you're not already a member of the Discord, one of the better options to do research is going to be to join. The link is always in the description, and ask questions to some of the experts that are in there. I help answer questions. There's a bunch of other good community members in there. But I'm trying to make this GPUdeals.net, which is my website to find good GPU deals. I'm trying to make it as helpful as possible to beginners. And I've added both a mining section and an AI GPU section. Now we'll go over these shortly, but the kind of hope with those tabs is that somebody who's just getting into the space wants to research, wants to build an AI rig, has no idea what GPU to buy, then this is supposed to kind of help that person get an idea of which one would be good to buy. I see all the time where someone wants to get into AI and then they buy like a 4060 GPU, which is basically useless for AI. And let me explain why. So when it comes to AI, most important thing is going to be the VRAM on the GPU. You ideally want like 16 gigabytes plus. Something like the RTX 3060 that has 12 gigabytes of VRAM is also a good option, because 12 is better than like a 3070 or 3080, which has 8 or 10. So VRAM is king. And that is one of the main things, but there's also some other things in terms of like how rentable is the GPU. You could get a 5080 GPU, but it might not get rented that often, and when it does, it might make pretty good money, but if it sits idle 75% of the time, then that's not going to be a good investment. So for AI, VRAM is very important. For mining, it's a little more complex because there's things like the memory bus speed and a lot of different things that contribute to just how profitable a GPU really is. Now, hashrate.no GPUs is a good place to look at GPUs right here and see what the most profitable ones and stuff like that are. Now, what this gets wrong is it very frequently has just a horrible GPU cost when it's calculating the ROI time. So right now it's calculating the ROI time of, I think it said like 800 days or something. But again, that's where my site is trying to improve on that, because if you don't know, the whole purpose of my site is to always provide the absolute lowest cost GPU listings that you could find. So right now, the highest value card that you could possibly buy in terms of its processing power to the price ratio is the 3060 Ti at a value of 102, and the cheapest price that you can find it anywhere online is going to be $200 on eBay. And I have this filtered so that it's only taking legit listings. It's filtering out all the scam BS, and this is what you want. Let's take a look at the mining GPUs page first. So if you are brand new to mining, this is supposed to kind of help you learn maybe what GPUs would be good to buy and what would not be good to buy. So I do have a table right here that specifically lists ROI days. Now this is definitely for reference only, guys. Do not buy 3080 expecting to make your money back in exactly 534 days. but this is going to give you a good idea of what cards are going to get their investment back first, or what cards may be good to purchase. So we can see the 3080 is making a daily revenue of 60 cents, which with its lowest price being 320 on eBay, which I need to add issue to one of my filtering words because this is not actually a good listing. So that's probably why the 3080 is popping up so much. But the 3060 Ti comes up right below. And I know that this is working well because these are the exact cards that I would recommend people build with. The 3070, the 3060 Ti, and the 3080 are some of the best ones that I would recommend, and they're popping up first on my list here. Now we have a couple other cards here, but this is best value. This site is also going to tell you highest revenue if all you really care about is revenue. Again, this is for reference, but you can get a kind of good idea there. 5090 coming in first can make a yearly revenue of about $383, and your best price is going to be $2,400 on eBay or $2,300 on Amazon. Now, highest profit, now again, snippet, but it's going to give you an idea of kind of what cards to get and what cards to stay away from. There's also a bunch of frequently asked questions information on here, top crypto mining GPU models, these ones right here, and then some different things to pay attention to on the GPU itself. And this is my favorite section, risks and consideration. A lot of people just jump right in without really looking into any of these. And I want to make sure that somebody doesn't get in and then immediately want to get out because they can see this stuff. So a lot of the stuff is still work in progress, but meant to be a very top level view for beginners. And now my AI GPU section, let's take a look at this right here. This is has a little bit of math in the background going on in terms of how the rentability affects the ROI days. But again, this is supposed to be a reference on if you want to buy a GPU for mining, well, the 4060 and the 5060, they may be cheap, but their rentability is 0 stars. Do not buy those for AI. So let's take a look at this chart and kind of walk through it, and then I'll show you guys how to actually buy these GPUs. So in my opinion, the 3090 is basically the best AI card that you can get right now. The rentability is 5 stars. My 3090 stay rented 100% of the time. The only other cards that have 5 stars is the 4090 and the 5090, and honestly I need to probably change the 5090 to a 4-star because it does not get rented as often as my 3090 and 4090. Now, this max daily revenue is basically the max that you could make on Salad right now. So generally I found that Salad, when you do have jobs, is going to pay out better than the other platforms. And so that is where this number is coming from. And when those 3090s get those beast jobs that I'm talking about, their ROI really is about 127 days when you calculate in that the best price on eBay right now is $670. Let's continue down the list. We have 3090 Ti, which is always one of the top listings on Salad in terms of it has high demand. And another place that you can check the demand besides my site right here is you could go to Salad and then look up Salad Network Monitor, and you can see the 3090 Ti is high right now, the highest. The 4090 is high, and even the 3090 is at moderate. The 5090 does not show up here. It shows up as low, but I've still been able to get jobs on mine relatively okay. Now, also you could go to the Octoplace Marketplace to see like what these GPUs are going for on Octospace, how many listings are just sitting here not getting rented. But my site is basically just trying to condense all of this into something like that. So you can see that the 4090 and 5090 are still basically top 10 cards, especially if you can get a good price. Like my 5090 I got for $1,800 buying local, and that would take this ROI much higher up here. And that's what we're going to talk about local buying here in a second. So some other AI stuff on here. You can get referrals to my 2 platforms right here. Again, kind of questions, FAQ, considerations, and risk factors, mainly meant for new people getting into the space. And you can look at kind of your yearly revenue. This is all assuming that these cards stay rented 100% of the time. So if you want to buy on eBay or Amazon, I'm not being biased here. There's basically no better site than mine right now. So let's say we want to buy a 4070. Right here at the top of the individual 4070 GPU page is a Amazon or eBay button. Amazon for $500. This is going to be a renewed version, and it's going to be the cheapest 4070 listing on all of Amazon. Same thing with the eBay listing here. This is going to be $420, and this is going to be the cheapest one on eBay from a reputable seller. So while we're at it, the GPU pages, they have kind of some pros, some cons, some comparisons versus other GPUs, like what the prices are. You can see here that you can basically get a 4070 Super for $30 extra on Amazon. In my opinion, that'd be worth it to do. 3070, the 4070 is going to be $200 extra. FAQs on the 4070, all the technical specs. This was nice to see as well. And then some benchmark. These are just estimates. So if you want to buy a GPU on Amazon or eBay, then gpudeals.net is going to be the place to do it. But what if you want to buy one off of local to get the very best deal? Because in terms of the best deals, locally is always going to be best. Used local deals is always going to trump Amazon or eBay, unless you just happen to find like a crazy listing right when it drops. So just for reference here, let's say that we want to look for a 4090 locally. We are trying to beat a price of $1,800 on eBay. That is the price to beat. So if we go to Facebook Marketplace, this is how I always do it. And let's go ahead and search 4090 on here, and I'll show you what to watch out for in terms of scams and other stuff to watch out for. It's actually pretty easy to spot the scams. Let's see if we can do it right here. You can obviously set this to a range around you that you're comfortable driving. Sometimes I'll drive upwards of 2 hours each way if it's like a really, really good deal. But you don't have to do that. You could always go a little bit closer. So if this is an Asus TUF 5090 for $1,700, that seems like it's probably going to be a scam. We can see here, no information about it. You got a stock picture. Stock picture is like #1 sign that it's going to be a scam. And then this person is from 2017 with 1,200 friends. That is actually a pretty solid sign. If that says 2025 or 2024, then it's almost certainly a scam. Let's continue looking through here and see if there's any other crazy deals. Like right here, this is probably be another one. A 5090 for $1,900. If we come in here, this person, blank photo, 2023. Do not bother messaging these people. It's going to be a scam every single time. So a couple things to look out for. Make sure they have a real profile. That's always very, very important. If you can, like, meet them at their house or something, so you always have like or their work or something like that, so you always have the ability to kind of go back to their address. That was the issue when I got scammed in my 3090. We met at a gas station. I didn't know where he lived, so I was kind of out of options once he just stopped answering me. But if you do want to go through with one, if you can, I would definitely go to their house and watch them use it, then unplug it and give it to you right then. Next best thing would be for them to film a video of it displaying and working and make sure it's a high quality video. And then the best thing would probably be to actually bring a little mobile test bench, which is a little harder to do, but that you can throw the GPU on and make sure it's displaying, maybe run a couple tests on it and stuff like that. But in general, to get those best prices, I am just looking in here every single day. And if I see something crazy, then I'll message the person, and I'll always offer like $200 below, hoping that we can at least meet in the middle, and then maybe I got an extra $100 off. This one, another sketchy type listing, despite this person having a real Facebook profile, but it's like a stock image and only one image, so you would need to do extensive research and communication with this person to make sure it's real. So those are the three options in my opinion. Again, getting the best deal is the most important part, and that's why I built this site, so all of us can continue to get the best deal and have the best chance of making profits on our hardware. So hope you guys enjoyed. By all means, if you have any features that you want requested to the site, it's going to be updating very fast these days. Leave them in the description. If you want anything clarified on there, leave that as well. And I will leave a link to my site, gpudeals.net, right here on the way out. Thanks for watching, guys, and happy GPU hunting.